Welcome to the Wellness as a Way of Life podcast, your one-stop, all-encompassing source of wellness, knowledge, wisdom, inspiration, and motivation. Here we teach you why not all wellness trends are for you, how to figure out which ones are, how to best adapt them for your personal wellness toolbox, and how ultimately to integrate your wellness practices so fully that they become to feel like brushing your teeth. A foundational part of who you are and not a check mark on your to-do list. Here we know that in order for health and wellness to be sustainable, we need a less is more approach, leaving the information overload and tips overwhelm behind. I'm your host, Megan Swan, creator of the Wellness as a Way of Life course and the Sustainable Integrated Wellness Approach. I have more than a decade of experience in the wellness industry and on my own personal wellness journey, learning how to tune into and trust my intuition and drown out all the noise. As a certified IIN health coach, detoxification expert, plant-based chef, yoga teacher, and coach, I will help you distill down the information overload and feel more confident and at ease in your own skin again. So let's swan dive in. Welcome back to Wellness as a Way of Life. This week I wanted to discuss stress cycle completion techniques. This is such an important thing to understand and have at least one or two in your wellness toolbox. So what are stress cycle completion techniques? First, I'll back up and say, if you haven't already read Burnout by Naomi Nagoski and Emily Nagoski, her sister, I highly recommend you at least listen to a podcast or two with them on talking about it. The book is worth reading. I think the major takeaway for me was exactly this topic, that the reality of what's, well, I guess it doesn't solve the burnout issue, but it does speak volumes as to why women are so often circling the drain towards burnout. Is because we don't have clear in our minds that our mind and body, I would argue soul, needs to get to a point where we feel complete in our stress cycles daily. Meaning, we are so often holding and carrying this thread or multiple dozens of threads of minute, small stressors, but we don't allow ourselves to complete the cycle, meaning just telling our systems, like on a physical level, our nervous system does not get the message that we've done what we can today. We need to rest, and tomorrow we will tackle it again. So there are lots of ways that we can help facilitate this feeling of completion at the end of our day, such as jotting down all the little things, little task open tabs we have in our brain before we try and get to sleep. Not ramping ourselves up by checking email within hours of going to bed, and then they're adding on this layer of all these things that might have upset us or stress us, or that we need to do first thing in the morning. But what I think is not talked about enough or really openly is how important it is that we have a physical practice to help complete the stress cycle for bigger stresses in our life. So let's say the bigger stress in general of how difficult it is to be a mother in modern society, where we're supposed to be a super mom doing it all and, oftentimes maintaining a job or a full-time job. And there's just so much pressure, and just sometimes the frustration, the overwhelm that can either lead someone to feel depressed or someone to feel anger. There's just not a safe space to express this. I talked a little bit about the lovely practice of swamping within a safe space of trusted other humans. But I think there's so much that you can do just as a practice on your own that's really helpful in helping us complete the stress cycle. So there are at least 4 major responses that our system goes into as our animalistic reaction to something that's stressing us out is either fight or flight, which I'm sure you've heard before. The flight being, we have this desire to just get out of there and run. Fight is defend ourselves. Freeze, which is maybe something that you haven't thought of, the reality that you want to do something and you actually just do nothing. Maybe this feels like denial, but on a physical level, it's you're frozen. You don't know what to do. And lastly, the one that's, I think, least understood is fawn. And this is more common, I think, for women to be taught this response. Like, you just make it easier for the person who's stressing you out or the situation. You just soften it for everyone involved, but you're just trying to appease the situation so that it's perceived as less stressful because it's not as scary. You feel like you're controlling the situation in some shape or form, but ultimately you're bowing and you're not reacting in a way that allows you to complete the stress cycle. You're just kind of going along with it. So the stress completion techniques really do focus more on fight, flight, and freeze reactions. And so let's get into it. So one thing that can be really amazing is opening that throat chakra, just screaming. And where in modern society can we find a way to do this? You can climb a mountain on the weekend and scream at the top of your lungs, but, might be with some friends and might not be appropriate. You can scream into a pillow. You can scream into your hand. I personally prefer the pillow because I feel like it's just like a little bit more protected. Might be a mental thing, but and even just the action of opening your throat that much and just, I really find lion breathing when I teach kids yoga. Back in the day, this like just fully exerting the frustration in the physical form can be so productive. So just 10 deep, the fire breath, get it out. Other sorts of pillow raging that can really kind of help with the fight or freeze is, slamming pillows into the bed or punching a pillow or throwing pillows into a wall. We're not trying to cause any damage. We're just exerting the physical response that our animalistic system wants to carry out, but living in the society that we have learned that all these things are not appropriate. We've suppressed them. It started when we were very young children and we were, having a temper tantrum, and everyone freaked out and suppressed us expressing our frustration in a physical, verbal, or loud way. What else? Well, grieving, so crying. Actually allowing yourself to cry. And if it doesn't seem like crying's coming out when crying is appropriate, you can full on wail. So just get on your knees on your bed, put your arms up above your head and just wail like a baby. Just act it out. And maybe a tear is going to be shed, maybe not. But just the poor me, fully embody the grief that you are experiencing. You are allowed to grieve whatever it is, the change, the loss, the new direction, whatever it is. Okay, one of my favorites is actually allow yourself to have a tantrum. Just lie in your bed, kick and scream and whatever, pull the sheets, make the bed, tear the bed apart, just wriggle around, whatever it is that makes you feel like you're embodying a tantrum, put a timer on it. For 2 minutes, I'm having a tantrum about this situation to get it out of my system. The kicking with no. So here you want to lie on your back. You can do it on a yoga mat, on your bed, on the floor, and you're just going to kick no. So raise your leg and kick sort of with your heel away from yourself, and say or yell, no, 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 multiple times. Like, I'm not here for it. It doesn't need to be like a real situation. I mean, it can be something that you want to be processing that's much more traumatic. But this is just you allowing yourself space to act out everyday emotions and frustrations in a way that really gets your body to complete the stress cycle. Like, you're allowing your body to fully, you want to go into fight, you allow it to fight by doing this no kicking, or you could also really, you just kind of stomp. You're lying on the bed or you're lying on your back and you have your feet on the floor or on the bed and your knees are up. So you're just kind of like stomping, or, it's almost back to a tantrum type thing, but you can do the stomping and the no. And there's something so powerful, try it, about the no going along with the kicking action that really allows your system to feel like you're completing the stress cycle when your instinct is to fight about it. So last one we'll go into is just to go crazy. So when you're in freeze, meaning you don't know what to do, you're sort of in shock, you're in denial, just act like an animal, like whatever that means to you. Is it like, moving your head back and forth and shaking your hair? Blah. Is it, acting out some animal sound? Acting like a wild tiger and hissing and scratching and just, I know maybe this sounds crazy to you, but I'm telling you, there's so much genius and science in these completion techniques. So you need to complete the stress cycle or it'll build up over time. So there are little tiny ways to allow yourself to mentally complete the stress cycle. If the stress is, I have 1,000 unopened emails and I don't know if I'll ever get to them. P.S. Just delete them once a year. Just hit delete all. If it is the most important email of the century, they will email you back, or, star your emails that are in that category. And just once in a while, it's okay. People will get back to you. You will find another way to get that information. Oh my goodness. I do it annually, about 5,000 emails I delete at the end of every year. Do it in a way that makes sense to you. But I'll leave that with you. On the day-to-day, bedtime routine. Think of the bedtime routine. What are you doing to completely indicate and support yourself from moving into, go, processing, handling, problem solving, go mode to, I've done what I can do today. I'm completing the stress cycle for today. Is it breath work? Are you just going to punch a pillow? Are you going to dry yourself a bath? Are you going to jot down all your to-dos, pencil and paper beside your bed? Are you going to call a friend? Call a friend. Are you going to go for a run and, get to the end of the run and just scream at the top of your lungs, or do some fire breathing? What are you going to do? But be intentional about it. It's not about needing to be a big amount of time, even 2 minutes. Ariana Huffington talks all the time about how you only need 90 seconds to shift your central nervous system. So think, what can I do 90 seconds before bed to completely, lovingly tell my system that the day is done, we've completed the cycle? And what maybe once a week can I include in my wellness toolness box one of these stress cycle completion techniques that I'm just going to process my week, get all the stress out of my system before I go into the weekend. So hope this is informative, helpful, inspiring in some way. Love all these topics. So don't hesitate to reach out to me on social media. If you want to discuss or you want some more resources, I'm here for it. Thanks for listening. Hey there. One last thing I wanted to share with you. If you're enjoying this podcast, it would mean so much to me if you could rate and review it on your favorite podcast platform. It really does help us grow the show, and this being so important to me to get this message out to more women to help them optimize their wellness and ultimately their lives. This is my mission, and I would greatly appreciate it if you could support the podcast by rating and reviewing. Thanks in advance. Have a good one.